Listen to me very carefully. The people who have wronged you, underestimated you, and tried to break you, they are about to become irrelevant. Not because you will scream at them, not because you will fight them, but because after this, you will operate on a level they cannot even comprehend. This is not about revenge. Revenge is emotional, and emotions make you weak. True strength lies in control. This is about something far more dangerous: psychological dominance. The kind that requires no confrontation. That happens silently, while they wonder why nothing they do affects you anymore. I am going to give you 7 Machiavellian dark psychology tricks that will rewire how you deal with every enemy, every manipulator, every person who ever thought they could touch you. By the end of this, you will not be the same. You will be untouchable. Let us begin. Trick 1. The art of strategic silence. The first weapon you must master is one that costs you nothing, but will cost your enemies everything. Silence. Most people think power is loud, the sharp insult, the clever comeback, the verbal destruction of their opponent. They are wrong. True power is the ability to say nothing. When everyone expects you to speak, when someone attacks you, insults you, or tries to provoke you, they are handing you an invitation. They want you to react. Your anger feeds them. Your defense feeds them. Every word you release gives them ammunition. But silence is a void they cannot fill. It is a wall they cannot climb. When you say nothing, they are forced to sit with their own words, their own actions, their own pettiness. Doubt creeps in. Confusion grows. Psychological torture begins. And you did not lift a finger. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The man who speaks less controls more. Every word you release exposes a piece of your strategy. Every reaction reveals a card. But when you remain silent, you become unreadable. Dangerous. Let them spiral. Let them imagine monsters in their own minds while you remain still. Practice this. Next time someone tries to bait you, breathe. Give them nothing. No expression, no defense, no engagement. Just cold, calculated silence. Watch them overextend, over-explain, and expose themselves trying to get a reaction that will never come. This is the first crack in their armor. You broke it with absence, not force. Trick 2. Controlled emotional detachment. Now that you understand silence, you must master what makes silence possible. Emotional detachment. Your emotions are not your strength. In conflict, they are your greatest liability. Every time you feel anger rising, every time your chest tightens with frustration, every time your mind races with what you want to say, you are losing. Your enemy does not need to defeat you physically. They only need to hijack your emotions, then you defeat yourself. This is the brutal truth most people never accept. They believe passion gives them power. They believe anger intimidates. But passion is predictable. Anger is blinding and predictable. Blind people are the easiest to manipulate. Controlled emotional detachment is not about becoming numb. It is about becoming selective. You still feel everything, but you choose what reaches the surface. You train yourself to observe your emotions without obeying them. When someone insults you, you notice the heat rising inside. But you do not let it reach your face, your voice, or your actions. You become a mirror that reflects nothing. This is what makes you terrifying. When people attack you and see no response, no flinch, no wound, they do not know what to do next. Their entire strategy depended on breaking your composure. When that fails, they are lost. And you are in complete control. Start practicing in small moments. When someone annoys you, pause before reacting. When you receive bad news, breathe before responding. Create a gap between what you feel and what you show. That gap is where your power lives. The Machiavellian man does not wear his heart on his sleeve. He buries it behind a wall of calculated stillness. He lets others rage, panic, and expose themselves while he watches, learns, and waits. Your enemies will never defeat a man they cannot read. They will never manipulate a man who gives them nothing to work with. Become emotionally untouchable, and you will be strategically invincible. That is the cold mathematics of power. Trick 4. Delayed response dominance. Speed is the enemy of power. The man who reacts immediately is controlled by others. When someone provokes you, challenges you, or demands something, they expect an instant response. They want you to jump, to feel the urgency they created. And the moment you react immediately, you have handed them control. You have shown them that they dictate your timeline, that the now belongs to them. Delayed response dominance is the art of making people wait. Time is a weapon. When you do not respond immediately, your enemy begins to unravel, questioning themselves. Did he see my message? Is he ignoring me? Did I go too far? Is he planning something? The longer you wait, the louder their internal chaos becomes. Meanwhile, you are calm, unbothered, operating on your own schedule, not theirs. This is what separates kings from peasants. Peasants react. Kings respond when they choose, how they choose, and only if they choose. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must never be rushed into decisions by the impatience of others. The same applies to you. When someone sends you an aggressive message, do not reply for hours or days. When someone demands an explanation, let them sit in discomfort. When someone tries to pull you into confrontation, walk away and address it later. On your terms. This does not mean you avoid everything forever. It means you control timing. Timing is everything. A response delivered too quickly appears desperate. A response delivered after careful delay appears powerful, measured, intentional. People will sense that you cannot be rushed or pressured. They will treat you differently because you train them to respect your pace. Practice this in small interactions first. Do not reply instantly to every message. Do not answer every call immediately. Build patience until it becomes default. The man who controls time controls the entire psychological battlefield. Deny your enemies the privilege of dictating your schedule. Make them wait. Make them wonder. Make them realize they have no power over your moves. That is dominance. Trick 5. Strategic information control. Information is currency. Most people are bankrupt because they give everything away for free. They talk too much, share too much, reveal their plans, fears, insecurities, and then wonder why people use it against them. You will not make this mistake. Strategic information control is the discipline of deciding exactly what people know about you and what they never will. Every piece of information you release is a tool someone can use. Goals can be sabotaged, weaknesses exploited, plans intercepted. But when you control the flow, you control the game. You do not owe anyone access to your inner world. Not enemies, not most friends. The Machiavellian man shares only what serves his strategy. If revealing a certain truth benefits you, reveal it. If concealing it protects you, stay silent. There is no moral obligation to be an open book. Open books get read, studied, predicted. You want to be the book no one can finish. This becomes darker. Strategic information control is also about feeding false confidence. Let enemies believe they know you. Let them think they have figured out your weaknesses, when in reality, you planted exactly what you wanted them to find. This is misdirection at its finest. They prepare to attack a version of you that does not exist, while your true self remains hidden, protected, ready to strike from an angle they never anticipated. Think of yourself as an iceberg. Let them see the small tip above water. Beneath, you are massive, dangerous, completely unknown. Stop volunteering personal information. Stop explaining your plans to those who do not need to know. Stop correcting false assumptions others have about you. Sometimes their wrong beliefs protect you. Ask more questions than you answer. Listen more than you speak. Observe what others reveal when they think no one is watching. The person who holds the most information while revealing the least is the most powerful in any room. Your enemies cannot fight what they do not understand. Keep them guessing, blind, and believing they see the full picture, when all they have is a carefully crafted illusion you created for them. Trick 6. Invisible boundary warfare. Most people announce their boundaries. They tell others what they will not tolerate. They explain their limits. They give warnings. And in doing so, they hand enemies a map showing exactly how far someone can push before consequences. This is a mistake you will never make again. Invisible boundary warfare is the practice of setting limits that no one sees until they cross them. You do not warn, explain, or negotiate, you simply act. When someone experiences the consequence of crossing your invisible line, they are confused, destabilized, deeply cautious about testing you again. Announcing a boundary invites negotiation, invites testing. Invisible boundaries create sudden cold consequences that cannot be predicted. That unpredictability makes you dangerous. It trains others to respect you without a single word. Example: someone repeatedly cancels plans at the last moment. The average person complains, explains feelings, asks for change. You do none of that. You become unavailable. Next time you are busy. Next, busy again. No explanation, no confrontation, no emotional outburst, just slow, quiet withdrawal. Eventually, they notice the loss and adjust behavior, not because you asked, because the consequence taught them. Some people will not learn. For them, the consequence is permanent removal. You do not give endless chances. You do not have conversations about growth or change. You simply erase your presence. One day they have access to you, the next, they do not. Left wondering what happened while you have moved on, unbothered, untouchable. Boundaries are sacred, secret, discovered only by crossing them. Never explain, justify, or warn twice. The man who enforces invisible boundaries is the man no one dares test. Testing him is a gamble. No one can calculate. Losing means disappearing from his world entirely. Trick 7. The long game mindset. Everything I have taught you means nothing if you do not understand this final trick, the foundation beneath all others. The long game mindset. Most people are reactive. They live moment to moment. Someone insults them, they react today. Someone betrays them, revenge this week. Someone challenges them, immediate victory needed. Short-term thinking is why they lose. They burn energy on battles that do not matter. Expose themselves too early. Sacrifice future positioning for temporary satisfaction. You will not be like them. The Machiavellian man understands that time is the ultimate battlefield. He does not need to win today. This month he plays a game spanning years, sometimes decades. While enemies exhaust themselves with petty conflicts and instant gratification, he builds power, resources, positioning quietly. When the right moment comes, victory is inevitable, effortless. When you stop needing immediate results, you become impossible to manipulate. How do enemies control you? They dangle rewards, threaten losses, provoke emotions for instant satisfaction. But when you operate on a longer timeline, none of it works. You do not need their approval today. You do not fear their threats today. You are focused on winning the war, not the skirmish. This mindset terrifies opponents. They cannot outlast you. They grow impatient, make mistakes, while you remain calm, focused, unmoved. Develop it. Detach your ego from immediate outcomes. Measure progress by trajectory, not daily victories. Find satisfaction in invisible progress skills, knowledge, preparation, quietly amassed. Study enemies without engagement. Collect intelligence. Store it. Use only when timing is perfect. Protect your energy. Long game requires endurance. Not every provocation deserves response. Not every enemy deserves focus. Choose battles like a general, not a reactive soldier. Remember, enemies play checkers. You play chess. Chess players do not panic over lost pawns. They see the entire board, the moves ahead. Let enemies celebrate small wins. Let them think they are ahead. You know the truth. You are building something unseen. And by the time they realize, it will be far too late. Conclusion. Becoming untouchable. You now hold 7 weapons. Most people will never understand. Strategic silence. Emotional detachment. The mirror technique. Delayed response. Dominance. Strategic information control. Invisible boundary warfare. The long game mindset. These are not theories. These are tools forged by centuries of Machiavellian wisdom and dark psychology. Use them wisely, ruthlessly. Watch how differently the world begins to treat you. You are no longer someone who can be manipulated, provoked, or broken. You are untouchable. Declare it. Drop a comment. I am the storm they never saw coming. Let this be your commitment to this new version of yourself. Hit that like button. Subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your transformation has just begun. Trick 8. The power of anticipation. Most people live reactively. They wait for problems to hit, insults to land, threats to emerge. You will do the opposite. You anticipate. You predict behaviors before they happen. You study patterns, moods, habits, and weaknesses. By anticipating, you make the first move without aggression. You preempt conflict without confrontation. Your enemies will feel like they are always a step behind, scrambling to catch up. The psychology is simple. When people are forced to react, they are controlled. When you act in anticipation, you control. Start small. Predict what someone will say in a meeting. Anticipate reactions in personal disputes. Build the habit of foreseeing outcomes before they happen. Soon, anticipation becomes instinct. You will move in a world where others stumble in the dark, while you walk with clarity. Trick 9. The illusion of effortlessness. Nothing is more intimidating than effortless power. When you struggle visibly, people measure you by the fight, not the victory. When you show control without strain, you appear untouchable. Do your work quietly. Let results speak for you. Let others sweat, struggle, and overcomplicate, while you glide past obstacles with calm precision. The psychology is brutal. People envy what seems effortless and resent what they cannot comprehend. They will overestimate your power and underestimate their own. Practice by mastering small victories privately. Achieve without announcing, win without celebrating, influence without explaining. Soon, people will assume your control is natural, your superiority inherent, and they will defer, hesitate, and fall into the patterns you allow. Trick 10. Layered influence. Influence is not about loud commands. Influence is subtle, multi-layered, and invisible. Plant ideas. Introduce thoughts subtly. Let people arrive at conclusions themselves. When they think it was their idea, they will follow it passionately, unaware that it aligns perfectly with your strategy. You are no longer forcing behavior. You are directing it silently. Combine this with strategic information control and delayed response, and your influence spreads without ever needing confrontation. Observe who needs guidance and who can be left alone. Tailor the layers carefully. The depth of your influence will grow while remaining unseen. Trick 11. The psychological echo. Every action you take resonates. Not immediately, but over time. This is the psychological echo. Small actions, carefully timed, will ripple through minds long after you act. A silent withdrawal, a delayed compliment, a subtle correction, a precise demonstration of competence. All these echoes accumulate. Your enemies begin to feel the effect without knowing why. They will overanalyze, second-guess, and doubt themselves while you remain perfectly still. Master the echo by patience. Execute actions with minimal fanfare. Trust that your calculated moves will return amplified results in perception, respect, and fear. Soon, even those unaware of your tactics will behave differently, anticipating your influence, adjusting subconsciously to your presence.